All right, yeah. We're going to take a look at this gameplay video for Blue Protocol. Yeah, so Blue Protocol, the only things I really remember about it, I think it was maybe back in like 2018 or something, is that it had like a Final Fantasy-esque leveling system where you could play every class on one character. And other than that, it was just really clean. Like, that's the big thing I remember it being. I was like, okay, so it's got some Final Fantasy-esque features. I don't even think that was the only one. And it was also just like, even in the beta test, just looked like a really clean game. And they've had years to clean it up since then. It's been, I think, 4 or 5 years since we've seen anything about this game. Obviously, you know, some of that's because of everything that's happened in the last couple of years. But all we have now is we have the Welcome to Regnus video, which we might want to watch after this. And we had the announcement during the Game Awards, which, you know, I had written off ever seeing anything about Blue Protocol again. Now, what do I think it's going to be anything too crazy? No, but I think there's a good market for more story-driven MMO experiences that isn't really being capitalized on as much as it probably should be. And Blue Protocol looks like it wants to be that as well. So I'm just hoping that it can do that. I'm never rooting against the new MMO, but I don't always trust them right off the bat. This one, I have this kind of like good feeling about internally, but I guess we'll see after we watch this video how it's been cleaned up. So this was posted on the Gamatsu YouTube channel and is also on their website. So it's the only place I've been able to find it, weirdly enough. So either way, let's just see what it's going. December 2022 gameplay. So yeah, let me bump the volume a little bit. Let's check it out. All right, so we've got I'll call it a gun hammer, but I think it's not really a gun so much as it's firing projectiles. Really clean, like the grass effects. I'm always a fan of hammers with slam attacks too, so liking the movement, liking the frame rate. The frame rate makes it look very pretty also. Obviously, you know, I'm not going to just trust the frame rate right off the bat. All right, now we've got, looks like dual blades. These look like a lot of fun. Oh, there's dual axes, actually. There we go. Berserker stance. I wonder what the FOV options are going to be like. Combat zone. So this looks like it's a Fate. Combat zone is almost certainly a Fate. Might be a world boss here. It's either just a big enemy or a world boss. There's no way to really know without health bars or anything. AoE indicator is good. So I want to comment on that AoE indicator right away. That is a red on green and is a good example of of accessibility right off the bat. That is a very easy and clear to see AoE indicator. So that being red on green and being so easy to see, I have to appreciate immediately. So that's points. That's points right off the bat. Number two, this AoE tells me two things. That there's being hit by the center, which is probably a stun plus more damage. The outer ring, which has a lesser effect. And all the way out. Dodging it. So it looks like there's two total effects. But the fact that this is red on green, but is still very visible, I'm very, very grateful for. It helps because you can see the other accessibility here. There's an outer ring that like lifts up off the ground that creates a lot of contrast. So it's not just a ground effect. Now, how that looks in more serious content or how cluttered it could be if there's a ton of these on the screen, I am concerned about. But for just general use, and who's to say, maybe we'll see more AoE indicators in the rest of this. That's good. So I'm glad to see that because I've had this talk a lot lately, and just games have been screwing it up this year. I don't know why. Special attack. It's probably just like a limit break or something equivalent. Just a personal one, obviously. Interesting. I like, so I want to go back to that. AoE indicators are a big thing for me because it says a lot about your game when you have AoE indicators. So I think they'll probably need a faster way of putting that down because that looks like it's going to be quite cumbersome and more serious content. They might have some options they want to go for that. But I do like the FOV change for this. Big fan of that, especially for an action game. I just wonder if this particular skill or any skill like it is going to be a bit clunky to use accurately in any sort of serious content. They look like they took a fire tick there for a second too. Also, looks like they put down an ice effect and an earth effect, so it looks like the bow user just has, at the very least, 2 different elements. Charge shot, freeze effect, yeah. And then the special looks like a... Oh, it's got like a gravity effect. That was another pretty good AoE effect. Multi-shot took a hit. We're seeing, I think there is an FOV slider, because even these close-ups have been slightly different FOVs on some of the classes. The mage user, so we have fire. We have the dodge. Yeah, the FOV thing there, I'm a big fan of. I just wonder how it ends up feeling when you go to use it in-game. Looks like now it's got some group content. At the very least, they're grouped up for said content. Each kind of taking their own enemy. I can see that enemy over there is stunned. It's also inside the AoE from the archer. Back dodge, charge attack. Not much to really say about the mage other than the big attack that we saw. And the dodges here. We have the sword and shield user here. I'll just say paladin for the sake of it. I always like a good shield bash. Shield charge is even better. The block during the dodge. Looks like just some knockback from also blocking there too. Puts down an AoE effect. Not much else to say. Kind of wish we'd seen more of that. Jumping over AoEs. I figured being an action game, you'd probably have to jump over or iframe a bunch of AoEs. They did not give us enough footage of the sword and board. Okay, actually good example there of the AoEs, of there being quite a few of them. Still, I think this is also a really good floor. But yeah, still good visibility. Getting a lot of points on visibility for mechanics. A lot of this feels and looks really polished already. Well worth the time they spent on it, at the very least. Some new mage attacks on this one. I don't know if it's a different mage or a different build. I think this is more like a cleric or something. Although they were casting fire there briefly. Mount gameplay, okay. Or just on mounts. Mount animations could use some work. Probably the least clean animation we've seen of the batch. Very, very stock, very generic, very unfinished. So definitely something that still needs touching up. Otherwise, environments look good, enemies look good, stylistically. It's very Bandai, which I don't think is bad. I think Bandai's really nailed over the years this kind of artistic style. It's very Tales of Arise style graphics, which I think is good. Tales of Arise definitely had some good visuals to it, and consistency to the visuals is good. Yeah, right now the only thing that's been kind of janky is this run animation of these wolves. I mean, cool to see 3 different wolves, but the actual character animations here are all fine. It looks like they're running faster than they're moving. That's about the only complaint there, but that's like minor. I don't really care about that. Sand effects are pretty nice. Actually, were they kicking up sand there? Yes, they were kicking up sand. Were they leaving footprints? I don't really care that much about that. No, they're kicking up sand. Yeah, actually, there are footprints. I can see them on the left was the best view of them. Some of the gear aesthetics also really good. None of the weapons are quite traditional. They're all very, very futuristic. Also, another great environment. Pilgrim's Haven. That font was a Xenoblade font, or a Tales font if I've ever seen it. Definitely. Ivy, chill. Want me to bring your food up here? Yeah, now they're just running through the environment. Hey, pick and choose. We got 2 foods that I put out today. Ritz. That was a little more traditional of a weapon. It was still kind of like curved interestingly. This is where they were running through before on the wolves. Yeah, a lot of positives. Even just with like I kind of wish it had a HUD, because the HUD is a big part of this. And we also don't know about HUD customization. But if you can present this initially and it looks this good, yeah. I mean, honestly, for the graphic style it's going for an MMO, consistent, pleasing, good color palettes. Not that I would know personally, but I think it looks good. I'm not going to take any of what we're seeing here too seriously. The shadows look good. You can also tell the time of day pretty nicely from this. I'd like to see like a time lapse because it looks like it's real-time shadows, which I would expect, honestly. It would be kind of weird if it didn't have real-time shadows, but more so the accuracy of the shadows. Like if you go back to the tree, you can see all the individual leaves right there, which is, again, a nice little thing. Just a nice little detail there to have all the individual leaves showing the real-time shadows on the ground right there. Oh, thanks for confirming for me that the color palette's good. Appreciate that. Definitely needed a second opinion on it. Items on the ground are sparkly. Okay, that was probably in some of the previous ones, but this image made it a little more clear. Or this kind of lapse. I guess the question is if those are just like general crafting materials, or if that's something I'll use on the field, for example. Well, I'd also assume that these are the maxed graphics. Like they're going to have like, you know, high, mid, low, all that stuff. I'd assume this is max because it's being run internally. I don't know if those leaf effects over there are indications of like an interactable either. The water looks kind of weird down there. Don't really care that much. Oh, that's actually a portal. I don't think that's water. That's why it looked weird. Bunch of balloons. Wonder if those were attached to mines or anything. Oh, look, the Death Star. Oh, look, an Aetheryte. I mean, honestly, it's standard nowadays to have, like, teleport points. But, of course, I'm going to make the joke. Not saying they ripped off Aetherites. I'm just... That was my first reaction, okay? That thing is scaring me. Hi, Ivy. I'll put out a different food for lunch. You guys are hurting me. I guess I don't know what these things are. I don't think it's a playable race or anything. I think it's probably like a pet, a cosmetic. Yeah, it looks like it's a cosmetic pet. A few different ones. They're actually all over the place there, so they might not even be that. Character creator, again, feels very Bandai. I'm not too... This doesn't surprise me. I think this still definitely looks like a work in progress. You can tell not much of it is like stylized. So yeah, this definitely still very much work in progress. Decent options though. Shaders, different colors, main colors, subcolors, lightness, gradients. Still pretty good. I know some of it's being blocked, but there's main color and subcolor under where the green chef thing is. Let me move it down here so it's a little bit more out of the way. There you go. Now it's just blocking where it says attire settings, which is the next setting. I'm curious what that's like. I think this is actually something they should keep, though. The thing on the right with the different images. I know that a lot of games tend to do... they tend to have, like, adjustable... Like, you can, like, look at the different facial expressions as a setting. It's kind of nice to just see them all on the screen. At the very least, while you're working specifically on your character's face. Instead of having to, like, do it all and then go to the option at the end that's like, show me this face, show me this facial expression, show me that. Like, at least have a few of them on the screen. Yeah, some heterochromia action going on here. Beauty marks, scars, freckles, facial markings, facial hair, paint. All that good stuff. Tractor, thanks for the resub, by the way. Yeah, it's not trying... It doesn't... Well, I guess we don't know what the attire setting looks like. Class settings and name settings seem to be filler names because you probably wouldn't call them that. Yeah, just a few different characters now. Those are the faces for the most part. It is very awkward having it have no music at all, but still. Yeah, just showing off a bunch of different characters being made with the creator. Ivy, chill. I like that shield. It's got a face on it. Oh, it's over. Well, either way, thought that was good. Let me check out the other video that they did. The Welcome to Regnus one. Here, this was the video that was actually posted. Yeah, well, if that was just a design showcase, I quite liked it. Obviously, that's far from all the details I want to know. And those don't make or break, but it's a component. And as you lead up to the release of a game, focusing on components is a good thing. So from a design aspect, other than the animations of the wolf and the running animation looking faster than you're running, which is, whatever. I don't really care that much about that. A good attention to detail, consistent graphic style, looked really good on Max. I'd assume they'd, of course, have low, mid, high, but either way, was a big fan of that. So now I want to see the video that they actually posted like a day or two ago. This is a new video after the Game Awards. A lot like what we just saw.
The world of Blue Protocol takes you on a heroic journey to unlock your lost memories, discover your true identity, team up with old friends and new allies, and defeat powerful enemies to save the future.
Now it's the sound effects.
Past.
I like that sound effect for the shield charge.
2,000 years in the future, a massive beast has awakened within the planet's core and threatens to destroy the world.
A lot of these are screens that we just saw, too.
You awake with no memory of your past, quickly finding yourself at the center of a millennia-old conflict. As the grand story unfolds, you'll discover your true purpose and what it means to be a hero.
I love the way this hammer looks. That's definitely going to be my go-to if they don't have a monk. I didn't see any monks, so the hammer would be next.
Craft, and battle your way across Regnus. Swap between 5 unique classes to do battle with fluid, action-heavy combat.
5 classes,
Relying
okay.
on your teammates' skills and abilities.
We are
to
seeing different builds here, too. So they definitely have skill trees or specs.
And tailor your character to fight back against enemies that adapt their tactics to counter your strengths.
I feel like I should have watched this first.
Be your own hero and stand out on the battlefield. Equip armor, clothes,
okay, here we go.
accessories, and mounts.
Okay, so I was saying I really wanted to see the UI. And yeah, we've got, this is very Bandai. Very Bandai. I also think it's good that they're showing the actual, like, the appearances of some of the things, like just showing some different animations here. So yeah, we've got season passes. Can't miss that. So the big thing is not knowing the monetization of it. We see, so I'm actually blocking something. Let me move myself down here. As expected, we do have the Regnus store. Let me just move all the components over here. And we have season passes. So that doesn't surprise me in the slightest, because I did not think it would be a subscription MMO. In fact, I think they said it was free to play at the Game Awards. I don't mind season passes as long as they're not egregious, and I have very good sensibilities with not spending on stores or spending if I want to. Like I've got a good sensibility of both, so willing to do or not do depending on the quality of the game. So I don't personally care that much. It's expected if it's going to be free to play. And maybe they'll cover that in the video. So I'll have to wait and see. Because I saw a reaction video that said monetization. They might have just been doing what I'm doing and looking at the seeing season pass, Regnus store. I think they might want to consider a quick menu also. The fact that this takes up the entire screen, well, it probably means you can't do it in combat. But I wonder if they have like a quick version of this menu that's more compact and not so, I guess, the whole screen. There's like, it looks like a single player menu is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. Also, a couple other things. Battle build at the top. Skill board. They're on attire and echo mounts right now. Buffs, which I'd assume are more like permanent or long-term buffs. And adventure rank. So I'd have to assume that much like Genshin, it's going to have... I mean, it's not like Genshin invented adventure rank. It's just the most recent, like, large example of one. So I don't mind any of that stuff. Battle build, skill board are the things obviously we want to see. Handy book probably has either quests or lore entries. Social is probably your friends list. Map, obvious. Quest, obvious. Inventory, obvious. Character, obvious. Mailbox, you know, that'll have stuff from the devs. Missions, party, team. I don't know what the difference between party and team is. Maybe team is more like a guild, or party is more like a guild because it has a flag. And then missions, I'd assume, is either PvP related or, I don't know, just like daily objectives or something. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to stop and freeze on this screen because there's a lot of things. I'd also actually, I'm covering something else. Let me go this. I noticed there's a character selector. So I'm wondering if so I thought I remembered them having multiple classes on the same character back in like 2017, 2018. There's no PvP. Okay. Then it's got to be like daily objectives or something like that. But the fact that there is the character selector is so quickly accessible from this menu. You can see it to my right. It's covering options, by the way. It makes me wonder if it's just there because they determined it needs to be there, or if or if I just don't remember. I mean, it could be that I don't remember properly. But yeah, I figured I would show that since I was covering it. Either way. So let's continue.
Accessories and mounts to fight back the forces of
those
evil.
mount animations need some work.
And customize them to look good doing
That's
it.
fine.
In Blue Protocol, the options are nearly limitless.
Except that you don't have monk.
And play how you want.
Except that you don't have monk.
And you're not alone on
So I can't
Reckless.
play how I want.
Tackle quests solo, or party up with friends and other adventurers to battle your way through epic dungeons. But to take on Blue Protocol's most difficult challenges, you'll have to group up with other teams to defeat skyscraping monsters and earn incredible loot.
Fancy?
Blue Protocol is set in a beautiful fantasy world with a sweeping story that'll lead you across Regnus to discover its secrets. Exciting and engaging combat with hundreds of unique ability combinations. Deep and diverse character customization.
Okay, yeah, we saw that.
Fast-paced multiplayer action. The world of Regnus is unlike anything you've ever seen. Solo or with friends, get ready to bring the adventure to life in Blue Protocol.
Looks good. And also don't forget it is on console as well. So I think that's another thing the MMO market has been doing terribly is capitalizing on multi-platform. I think that was something 14 did well, even if they don't have it on Xbox, because, well, I mean, who knows if that'll ever happen. But yeah, so PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Steam. I'd be shocked if there's no crossplay. I think they really, I'd love an official comment on that. I don't have one handy, but I would love an official comment on that if they have one. Just noticed that was all messed up. Because I think that's essential to its success. I don't just think that that's big. I think that that's essential. Also, I just noticed my title wouldn't update. It like broke when I tried to update my title. So it still says what it said before, I think. Yep. Let me fix that. Yeah, it broke when I tried to update my title. Either way, yeah, 2023 play Blue Protocol. Let me see if they have anything official on their Twitter. Blue Protocol following. Only 15K followers. I want to change that. Yeah, they haven't really tweeted much since the Game Awards. Check out the official language channels for Blue Protocol, co-developed by Bandai Namco and Bandai Namco Studios. The road to launch. Ooh, let me read this. Co-developed by Bandai Namco Online and Bandai Namco Studios, published by Amazon Games. The Protocol is a free-to-play multiplayer online action RPG where you become the hero of your own sci-fi adventure. Collaborating with Bandai Namco to bring this immersive, action-packed adventure to audiences in North and South America, Western Europe, Australia, and New Zealand has been the start of a great relationship between our teams. Together, we are fully committed to creating the best experience for our global players. At the launch of the second half of 2023, I expected that, but I'm glad that they specify. Blue Protocol will be available in English, French, German, Spanish, and Brazilian Portuguese. Interesting. I can't help but notice, wasn't this game initially like beta tested in Japan? Am I bugging? Is that a different version? Are they just not including that here? Because it's like, or did they just give up on Japan? Like, it was literally beta tested in Japan like years ago. And only Japan. So I've had the pleasure of... Oh, it's not Amazon in Japan. Okay. Well, I guess, does that mean they won't be on the global servers is, I guess, my question. But, okay, so Amazon is everywhere outside Japan. In Japan, maybe they're publishing, maybe Bandai's publishing it themselves. I've had the pleasure of working with Bandai Namco on character customization accessibility features to ensure that players around the world are able to enjoy this beautifully crafted game and create characters they identify with as they truly become the hero in this exciting adventure. For fans who have followed Blue Protocol's development, following is a very strong word. Waiting for any news at all would be more accurate to what I would how I would define following the development. Eagerly awaited news of a Western release, we plan to share more information about how our team at Amazon Games is working to preserve Bandai Namco's vision for Blue Protocol while ensuring the game is approachable to Western players. Now I'm curious what the difference is for the Japanese version, because clearly there are going to be differences. That's not all. We have a lot planned for 2023. From collaborating with Bandai Namco to show a behind-the-scenes look at Blue Protocol's development to beta tests, there's a ton of content, community-centric events, and news that we'll share with you. The continued work to localize the deeply immersive stories and build the infrastructure needed to engage in multiplayer adventures and massive online raids against towering monsters. A lot to work towards our road to launch in the second half of 2023. All right. Well, I think that's all there really is. I don't think their Twitter actually has anything of that, anything that's actually new. Yeah, Blue Protocol is a free-to-play online action RPG where you become the hero of your very own world. I guess... Yeah, you're on a quest. This is all stuff they said. Learn more about Regnus on the world page, adventure story on the story page, deep customization, customizable to your playstyle, switch between. So, okay, so they did keep it. You can. This is what I was looking for. Switch between 5 different classes. So yeah, they are still keeping the multi-classing in the game. It looks like. Each with unique skills that add damage multipliers, healing, and elemental effects that can be modified and leveled up. Equip combination of skills modifiers and summon echo mystical creatures derived from the planet's power to bolster your abilities or aid you in combat. You're going to custom hero fit for your playstyle. Okay. Dual wielding twin. Okay, there is a gameplay page. We can look at that afterwards too. Deep customization. Your character is an integral part. Enhance your adventure by enjoying complete character and combat customization, hairstyles, outfits, accessories, gestures, dances, multiplayer. Work together as a team with other players to tackle quests, fight boss battles, engage in massive online raids against towering monsters. There are 3 options when entering a duty, raid, or mission: solo, matchmaking, or recruiting parties. Solo lets players go it alone. Matchmaking randomly connects you with available players. Recruiting parties lets you browse the parties who are taking on the same challenge. If you choose to go solo, don't neglect giving aid to someone in the same area to get bonus rewards. Oh, so I guess when you're solo, if somebody's looking for a party for help, you get more rewards for going with them. Okay. I guess that's how I interpret it. If you decide to make formal arrangements, you could expect additional damage and add bonuses such as HP regen. Additional players and parties pool some items that enemies drop, making it easier to complete certain quests and adventure board challenges. Okay, so the adventure board challenges are the missions. Have a group or find others you want to play with consistently. Join a team. Teams or guilds. There you go. See, that answered the question. So teams or guilds. I was right the first time. Party is party, team is guild. Got it. Roster of like-minded players, leaders, deputies, assistants to help administrate the team and can rank up. Okay, cool. We'll make a happy team. I'll check the gameplay section. Why not? Gameplay page. Ooh, a creator program. I will look at that afterwards. All right, classes. Your classes, depending on the weapon that you choose, allowing you to adapt combat challenges with and without changing your customized character. Yeah. So yeah, it's like 14. So they did keep that. I'm glad they kept that because that's a strength I think that 14 has. Action-packed combat skills. I mean, this is just describing what these things are. The echoes are the creatures that you summon. Outfits, mounts, gestures, team up. There you go. So you browse other parties, playing with others, create chain effects that are maximized by continuously attacking. Yeah, so there's entire gameplay elements that are only available if you do that. So it looks like we have the Blade Warden, which is the Paladin, Master of Sword and Shield. This close range class is the cornerstone to any defense. The Twin Striker, which, by the way, we have images over here. I guess I should click those real quick. We just got to see all the gameplay. Do I really need to see like 3 images on top of it? They're just blocking. block. Oh no, this one looks like a parry because he did this. Maybe this is blocking and then going backwards. What do you know? Guy with a shield blocks. I like your glasses. Swing, swing, swing. That's the special attack animation. We saw that before. Then this is the Keen Strider. Oh, look, they're shooting arrows in all 3 pictures. A technical class that specializes in party battles and excels at mid to long range attacks and support. Cool. The Spellweaver, a high difficulty, long distance class suitable for parties. Stay safe from the front lines with the ability to eliminate enemies by firing high power attribute attacks. Looks like we have some water skills. I guess those are ice skills. Then we have the fire skill, which we saw in the other thing. And Foe Breaker. Close to medium range class that maintains the battle. I see this is the one I think I want to play. The Hammer, as I'll call it. It's got attacks that I like. It's got some, it's got some projectile attacks. And it's you know, Hammer and Monster Hunter. Hammer here too. I mean, I'm calling it Hammer. Hammer is what it is. They did say in that trailer that the toughest raids would require teaming up also. Gotta be a Hammer, bro. Yeah, I really need to see the skill trees and everything too. And I want a monk. I am sure they are going to get beat into oblivion with class-related questions leading up to the launch. Because people are going to want more than 5 classes. That's probably, other than the mounts, this is the biggest thing that I think is going to be a really, really tough selling point. It does not matter how many builds you have available. It matters how many classes you have available. Builds sometimes drastically play the way you change a class, but classes are how you do job fantasy or class fantasy for people, which is huge in terms of character identification and is a make or break for a lot of people. Like, where's my monk? Above all else, where's my monk? And I don't think this is a case of them only announcing 5 classes to then announce more before the launch. I think before the launch, they tell us they're working on another one. Not work on, not release a 6th one as a surprise. And even then, unless it's monk, I personally wouldn't be too excited about it. And you know what? Given the aesthetic, I want Vi. I want giant gauntlets. Like, just looking at the other weapon types and like their designs, this isn't just I want to punch. This is like the game I expect giant, like, fist covering gauntlets. So that's the thing. I also wonder about the visuals on some of these. These are axes in, I think, all the pictures. And it says 2 axes at the bottom, too. Continuous attacks with 2 axes. I wonder if there's any weapon that doesn't look like an axe. I mean, if you're going to do cash shops and season passes, you definitely go that route. So at the very least, if somebody prefers swords to an axe, you do that. So I think those are the only 2 things right now. Mount animation and lack of individual classes is the biggest problem. Monetization is going to be down to the nitty gritty. Everyone's going to be, is it going to be pay to win? Is it going to be this? That conversation is going to happen no matter what. Even if it was a subscription game or a buy to play game, that would be, that's just what I expect. And that we'll need more information on later. But for the actual game, not enough classes. This is going to be a huge stopping point for a lot of people. They're going to get here, see this, and just be like, I don't want to play a mage or a paladin or a dude with a giant hammer. I like the way the bow and the hammer look. The hammer is definitely my go-to choice since there's no punching. But I am hoping for punching. Really hoping for punching. Really, really want punching. But it's good to see something after all these years. Release the skill trees, get us into a gameplay test, and I think we'll be a-okay. But yeah, that's Blue Protocol. Oh yeah, I want to see what their creator program. Let's see creator program like. Calling all I am passionate. I am productive. I can be productive. I'm engaging, and I am respectful, other than the fact that I'm from New Jersey. If you have any questions about the program, you can reach out. I can be productive. Very, very, very specifically, it's conditional. So, you know. But yeah, I'll give it a sign up. I've actually been meaning to sign up. I've just been forgetting. But this is a good opportunity to remind myself that I still need to doing. Yeah. Either way. Form relationships in the Blue Protocol community. I mean, if the game is well supported, well updated, engaging, you know, it's the future's bright. This video is very productive, I find, at least. Here, let me do this real quick. Either way, yeah, just the class thing. The class thing is gonna be that's gonna be a thing, man. That's gonna be tough. I don't even think it was early 2020. I think it was even earlier. I mean, we don't know if they're shifting anything because we haven't played it or seen it like an actual in-game, like someone logs in and there's other, like, you don't have that information. There you go. Max players depend on the zone. Main towns have 200, field areas 30, missions 6, raid missions 30, solo missions 1 player. There you go. And they do, and yeah, per channel. I figured there were channels. Lost Ark does channels, and channels are perfectly fine for that. I mean, who knows? I'm not really thinking about that just yet. The zones also look big, but we need to see how big they actually. Monster density is an issue. 30 people is an issue? I don't think so. Outside of like initial launch, potentially. Also, that's only an issue if there's a claiming system, which, looking at this game, I sincerely doubt there's a claiming issue. And then it's just about supporting all of the, supporting as many channels as they can. Amazon has plenty of experience with Lost Ark in terms of channel management now. So I think Blue Protocol's channel system will be much better on launch than Lost Ark's was. Lost Ark's didn't even take that long to fix. They got new channels out pretty quick for Lost Ark's launch. All right, and after that, I just kind of trailed off, so I'll just do a formal outro here. Thanks for listening to my thoughts and anything that I said during the video. I've already forgotten everything that happened during the stream today, but I'll be keeping an eye on Blue Protocol. Been waiting for it for years and excited to see if it manages to be good or not. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye.